And welcome everybody to the Jeremy Womack Show. I am your host, Jeremy Womack, and today on the show we have Miss Glynda Rhodes of the Divorce Party Planner and her cohort over there that you cannot see, Miss Marianne, right? Mary Rene, sorry. I'm just teasing you. You should have seen the shocked look she had on her face. So we have both of them on the show, and you know, Glynda's been in the event planning scene for quite a while, and you know, she went through her own issues with a divorce, and one of the things that she had said is that if I can make it through this, then I deserve a party, and that kind of like sparked an idea to actually throw parties for people that were getting a divorce. You know, you know, they always have parties for things like you're getting engaged or you're having a wedding, but you know, sometimes for a lot of people, the divorce is as joyous of an occasion as those the wedding and all that were too. So a natural progression would be to have a divorce party, and they do all sorts of things from having bonfires to shooting at a gun range to you know, just hanging out, and there are other things they do too, like singles parties and stuff that we'll get into later on in the show. But welcome, Glynda. Thanks for coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's get into, you know, your background of doing events. For quite a while, and you're still doing it, which is the Black Book 702, I believe it's called, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what made you want to even get into that? I mean, I think the first time I met you, and I don't know if it was a party of your own, I think it was like a Ferragamo event at Turnberry.
Oh, yeah.
Like a fashion show thing or something.
Yeah, yeah. That wasn't my event, but I was at there.
But you were there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, it was a shoe event.
Yes. Why would you not be at a shoe
Why would I not be there?
It was kind of a cool event because they had this runway that went across the pool.
Yeah.
And the models were walking on it, and kind of like walking on water. So anyway, but what got you into doing events for people? What, you know, it's Vegas, obviously. There's a lot going on, but what said to you, I need to kind of rein this in and help people figure out what they need to do?
Well, I started doing the events when I was still married.
Okay, you're right.
So I started planning the Rhodes Homes corporate parties.
Okay.
And they got to be where everybody couldn't wait. Where's she going to do it next year? And it was always top secret.
Cool.
So
that's
fun. Yeah, it was always top secret. Not even my husband knew at the time either. I said, write the check.
Right. Just give me the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it got to be where the employees and everybody just couldn't wait, and the vendors. And so I thought, wow, this is so much fun to plan these parties. So I think I started the first one there in 2001.
At the actual
Rhodes
rooms, okay.
Yeah. And so I took it from there, and then I had my interior design firm, and then...
Which you still do,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll touch on that, too.
All right.
If you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, let me just spin my hat around.
You're like, I didn't know we were going to talk about that, too, but,
no.
you know, also, anything about you is what I want to bring up for people, so.
So anyway, so when I was actually a promo model back in the day, and so I was a Miller girl, and I was a Jack Daniels girl.
I think I saw recent pictures of those somewhere.
Throwback Thursday.
Yes, Throwback Thursday.
Oh my goodness.
It was a Miller shot, I think, in a bikini, huh?
I had the Goo Goo Dolls, and I had guitar picks made with the Goo Goo Dolls and the Rhodes logo on the other side, and we had Playboy bunnies and cigar rollers, and
that sounds like a pretty fun
party. It was amazingly fun. And nobody knew, even him at the gym at the time. He was like, "Who's here?"
Right.
And I said, "If you don't know who this band is," I made everybody wait till they came on stage. It was such a shocker.
You have to have those surprises.
Yeah.
That makes people want to keep coming back to your parties.
Yes.
So
it's always a talk, like 6 months after my parties.
And so, so you're still doing the Black Book.
Yes.
And that's more of like a corporate event.
Yeah, I'm kind of focusing on that, and I actually have a couple clients on the works right now. So, yeah, they should be pretty fun. Big company. And, yeah, I don't, like, push it because I'm more focused on the divorce parties.
Sure.
That's really what I want to do right now. And if stuff through Black Book comes in, then we'll do the Black Book stuff. But I'm not out there pushing it. But
and Mary Rene?
We're available if you need us.
Well, I'm not married right now myself. So, so talk about, you know, Mary getting here and talk about the relationship that you guys have together. And she brought up a little bit that you owned, or maybe do you still own the agency? Okay.
I owned an agency. It was the largest marketing promotional agency in Nevada.
Okay.
Had 250 models working for me.
Wow.
Glynda was one of my #1 girls. And I sold that agency in 2005 because I was stupid enough to move to South Carolina with my ex. I'm not holding nothing back.
Okay.
And so through that, the lady that bought it from me ran it into the ground.
Always,
Good
right?
for me,
Right.
because I can come back and don't worry about it because
Right.
it wasn't me.
It wasn't your name, right?
So, and I've been back since 2010,
Okay.
going through a divorce, and Glinda's like, hell, her divorce is hell. Mine took 2.5 years as well.
Right.
And it was just one of those things. Glinda's like, we got to get through this. You got to do everything. I have this idea. So she threw my party was the first party.
Okay.
And
Figure she's a good guinea pig.
Sure. You need somebody to try out, of course. Of course.
we burned my wedding dress.
So is that her in the picture?
Yeah,
then?
yeah,
Okay.
That's me in
With
the
the
picture.
coat hanger?
Yes, with the coat hanger.
Yeah.
Then I burned all the pictures of him and I together.
Okay.
Glinda
we used a hot dog.
She brought out a hot dog to top it
represent him.
off to represent him.
Okay.
We took my wedding band and tied it to balloons and sent it off into the world
To wherever, yeah.
To wherever.
And she
So,
said, you said a nice little
I
poem,
had
though.
a poem about how it didn't represent to me what it was supposed to be.
Right.
So whoever found it, if they couldn't have that representation for the ring, they needed to pass it off to somebody else.
Tie it on another balloon and let it go.
and let it go because to me, it wasn't anything anymore
Right.
at that point.
Right.
Oh, it was really exciting that night too because Glynda had pictures of him made up on big boards and one of the Bizzo, and her name was Marianne. That's why I gave you that funny look.
Oh, okay.
Don't get the
Sorry,
names
I
confused.
apologize.
But so we had pictures of her and she was topless everywhere she could go. That was like her.
That was her thing.
Her thing
Okay.
to be topless or try to imitate me, but I wasn't topless. And so we shot him up with paintball guns.
Yeah.
So
Really?
it was great.
We had one of her ex and then one of her,
Yeah,
the Bizzo.
so-
We call her the Bizzo.
Yeah, we just go
The
by Bizzo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was such an exciting night. We had friends there, and we just kind of drank and
Oh, and
just.
you had Carl, the country singer.
Yeah, we had
Carl. You know Carl.
The name sounds
Let
familiar.
me think of his last name.
He
I'm
wrote
drawing
a
blank.
song.
Okay.
He sang it at
A
her
little
wedding.
depressing. We had to boot him out pretty soon because it was
You're ruining the vibe here.
The best part was
Okay.
it was a surprise from Glynda. My wedding song was George Strait. I Crossed My Heart.
Okay.
So as I was coming down to meet all my friends, she had DJ Todd record the song backwards. I
it
could
was like the wedding
uncross
march
my
back.
heart
Oh, that's
and walk
funny.
out.
That's funny.
And that was like the coolest part.
Sure.
I was like, it's all undone.
Right.
And it was such a release. So through that, we've decided just to partner up. We both bring over 40 years together, experience and events, promotions, and everything to make this company what it is.
It's a nice marriage, if you will.
Oh, she's my, what do we call it?
Oh.
You knew this was going to be an exciting show, didn't you, George?
Maybe I shouldn't have had my back turned to
No,
that
you
point.
should have. You should be paying attention at all times.
It's a long story. I
Okay.
still fly as a flight attendant part-time.
Okay.
So all of last year, Glynda was my hashtag buddy pass.
Yeah, that was the buddy pass.
But now this year it's a new year, so she's
Sure.
my hashtag.
Significant other.
Really?
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
know what? No one's ever given me like a nicest present ever. I mean, as much as I fly, and now I can fly as a significant other. Oh hell, I'll be anybody's significant other if I fly for free.
You're like, I'm going to get to fly for free, so I'll take on that name.
Yeah.
That's-
So it's just a funny thing. So, but you know what? We do travel a lot, and we have to get a lot
but
of
she
stuff
did
done.
she booked us a flight. This is
Oh.
funny. Flight attendant, right? Flight
Right.
attendant status. She booked us a flight. And she goes, go online and check in. So I'm trying to check in, and it won't let me check in.
She's
So
dying
then-
over there, by the way. You can't see her.
so
She's
then-
about to fall out of her chair.
And we were just going to L.A. for a fun weekend, whatever,
Uh-huh.
right? So she goes, well, let's go and go to the little kiosk. So we go to the kiosk, and she's, typing in the information. Then all of a sudden she looks and says, you cannot check in. You are 600 and something hours early for your flight. I was like, we're like 600 hours early. What today? What day did you book us on? So then I have the iPad. She's got her thing, and we're trying to
We're trying to book the flight because it closes an hour before the flight.
And
we
so
were,
we're
like, cutting it
trying
close.
to get on this flight. Phone, iPad, iPhone,
It was
everything
hysterical.
too.
We made it.
We made it, but it was like one of those things. 660 hours too early.
We were
Yeah,
excited
we
to
were
go,
a month
obviously.
early.
Right. Yeah. You're like, I don't care how early it is. We want to go.
Airport
At least we weren't late.
when
That's
we
true,
hang
that's
out in
true.
the airport, it's called airport appreciation.
It was funny, actually.
Your regulars over at the airport.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Anyways.
and yeah, so you
So
have
we
her as
came
a guinea
together,
pig,
yeah.
and doing this party, and you kind of vet out the different ideas that you want to do for other people. Are some of the same things that you did in that the party for you standardized now, and like the burning of a dress and kind of things like that, or?
It's not standardized. We kind of meet with the client
And see what they wanna
Yeah,
do.
and see what they want to
Yeah.
do, and then we try to get more creative. Like, you know, it's been done, but I mean, when we just did one where she shot up the wedding dress with the machine
Yeah.
gun, oh my gosh.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I'd show you the picture, but I can't release it yet. But it is hysterical.
get
I
it
mean,
out
just
there.
the look on her face was just like priceless.
So for that situation, you went to a gun range,
Mm-hmm.
and they put, instead of the paper target, they put the dress on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we hung the wedding
That's
dress
kind of
up.
cool.
Yeah, and I actually talked to I want to actually do some single events there and have like a wedding dress where just a bunch of women, like once a month or something, you know, just to
Okay.
hang them up as targets, like a singles night out, or you know.
Yeah, we've
Or
been
we could
doing
even do little
single
suits for the
events,
men.
so-
We could for the men, they could bring like a little suit. They
Or
could
bow
Well, yeah, that's
tie.
what I was going to ask you. The elephant
Yeah.
in the room is, do you also do this for guys too?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's what I was going to ask, because, I'm going through a divorce.
He's about, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I brought our flyer.
There you
Yeah.
go. He'll
And
definitely want to
we
see
have
that.
a couple packages for men, the standard ditch the bitch.
Right.
The machine one is called Glocked and Loaded.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And then we also have, Glynda came up with 18 holes are better than one.
I couldn't help it. Right?
You did good there. That's a good name.
And they're all interchangeable.
Sure.
A lot of it is just either getting together with your friends or whatever. You can go by yourself. But it's just a release.
Right.
It makes you feel good about yourself.
Right.
The only thing we can't do is hang up any pictures of your exes when you're shooting the guns.
On the gun range.
Right,
Yeah.
that's-
We thought about that.
Yeah.
They told
don't-
us no, because if the woman learns how to shoot her picture of her real ex-husband and then actually goes and
and does it, then there's a liability
Liability,
thing.
yeah.
Got
Well,
it.
everybody keeps asking why I left South Carolina, and I said the state wasn't big enough for both of us, and I don't look good in orange. And now there's that new song out about the girl that
I know, I
says,
just-
I don't wear stripes well.
That,
yeah,
yeah.
it's so fit.
And that
so
fits
fit.
for you. You're like, I got to get out of
I
here.
got to get out of here.
But the guys mostly just want to go to the strip clubs and the
Yeah.
bars,
Sure.
and so we got to create some fun stuff for
Yeah,
them.
Yeah. You
they
just
need to venture out.
Yeah, just
golf
give-
is fun.
golf is fun.
We can give them their own caddies in the cart.
Mm-hmm. Private
girls
play.
and-
Private play, everything.
Private playing
and then
with the
still
little-
go to the strip club.
Do that
Yeah.
too.
Do that too.
You
yeah.
always got to have that.
But and you make sure to mention that you don't encourage people to do anything that will really cause a regret. So if you're thinking about doing it and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to regret it or not, but you encourage, okay, so you might come up with ideas, but if they're like on the fence, you're not like trying to push them. You're just like, well, here are a lot of different things that you can do.
Yeah.
And you kind of pick what you want and what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, we actually had a female that was very unsecure about herself, and as for a living, she makes everybody beautiful all day.
Mm-hmm.
And so we set up a boudoir photo shoot for her, and she was like, I feel uncomfortable, and but then when she had her hair and makeup done, and
It's
the
that process,
photographer
yeah.
took a couple photos and showed her how amazing she looked, it was like a transformation, like
Right.
night and day.
We just met with a guy that's trying to plan his party too, and he wants to go skydiving.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
How
Yeah.
cool would that be?
Yeah.
Woot, woot.
So, but that's
he can do it. I ain't going on that one. No.
you're not going to join.
No, hell no.
Okay.
No.
Well,
We'll wait on the ground. We'll wave.
You wave
Yeah.
as they're landing. Well, that's the cool thing again about Vegas is there's so many different, even extreme things that people can do. Whether it's skydiving, indoor skydiving, going out and flipping upside down in an airplane.
There's the race car
the
track.
race car,
Mount
yeah.
Charleston, the lake.
Yeah.
You can rent the
party
party boat.
houseboat.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
for doing event planning and even if it's small or large scale, this is really seems to be the town for that because there's so many options. It's not just renting like maybe in different cities, renting a room and just getting a limo, and that's
Yeah.
the extent of it. You're like, no, we can do all these other things.
That reminds me of the party that I threw up on the controversial
Oh yes.
land. The 2,000 acres. It was nothing but it's 2,000 acres of raw land.
Right.
And I
Oh,
took
that
a
was
road
an
grader up
amazing
there.
party.
Yeah, I took a road grader, graded a flat spot, and we had barbecue guy brought his like grill with the chicken and lobster and all this stuff. I brought a DJ. I made a little walkway tiki torches that overlooked the city. It was a redneck party, so I had old furniture and rug remnants, and then we had like little lunch boxes for all the guests, and they had like Billy Bob teeth, and they had like the miners.
Packs of gold gum because I searched all over Las Vegas to go buy like 40 packs of this gold gum.
Uh-huh.
And then we had
Was it
It
difficult
was
to
the
find all
tie
that?
one on.
Okay.
yeah, it was yeah, and the little lunch boxes were like the metal lunch boxes, you know,
Wow.
that had all this stuff
Oh,
in
and the
there.
miner's hat.
The miner's hat with,
the light bulb
flashlight.
on
The
top.
devil in the details. I mean, you really, that's where you
Yeah.
shine, is just saying, you know, maybe someone wouldn't think of the gum or the miner's hat, but you're like, no, this is, and don't let, you know, this fool you. When she says road grading, I remember we were out, who were we with? I forget. Now I'm brain farting on her name. Your old.
Oh, Mercedes?
Yes, Mercedes.
Yes.
Okay. So we were all talking, and I think it talked about you were in your car, a very expensive car. You can mention it if you want.
Like, which one was that one? That's
Right.
I don't know which one.
Well, you were carrying all sorts of like construction stuff in it, and when I heard that, I'm like, you put what in that expensive of a car, you know? But that, because of a lot of your background, it just seemed second nature to you to.
Oh
do
yeah, I
things
used to
like
have
that.
carpet remnants, my paint fan deck at all times. And,
Things that you would never
Tile.
think would be in that type of a vehicle. So
Oh, one time we rolled up in the Bentley at Costco. And
that was the one.
oh, that one.
What about when you took the Maybach through Taco Bell?
Oh yeah, they always laughed at me. Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Or Wendy's would say, "Hey, Miss Bentley, how you doing today?" I was like, "I have a cheeseburger, please."
While she's going to go out and road grade out an area to have a party. So
Yeah, but it was like, I mean, it's those little details, and people literally stayed. And I actually had shuttle buses that had to run because you couldn't take your cars up there.
sure.
So I had everybody parked at Best Buy, and the shuttle buses ran every half hour to take people to and from when they wanted to leave. And and then we had dug this big mud pit, and people were mining for gold. I had these little gold nuggets painted, and they were numbered. And then we had prizes like wine and stereo
That's
systems and
cool.
stuff. People were out there mining all night long trying to find them damn gold nuggets.
With their little flashlights on.
Yeah, they were. It was the most funny.
And
It
we
was
had bobbing for apples. We
we had money inside.
money inside the apples.
Yeah.
The
That's
kids
cool
actually
stuff.
did
It was
them
really fun
apples
party.
more than the adults.
Oh
Well,
my
they-
God! And I had worn this Daisy Duke, and it was a surprise. And so, and the person that he didn't wear tie, so I made every single, but it was a birthday party.
Uh-huh.
Everybody bring a tie, old, new, used, ugly. And so
Didn't matter.
he started opening up the presents, and it was another tie, and then another tie, times like 200 and something people, and
Wow.
another tie, and then he got one tie rack. They're like,
The one, the motorized
It
one.
was hysterical.
That's funny.
It was amazing
Oh,
though.
we
Where
had peanuts, but you
remember somebody bought a Hermes tie, and we're like, yeah, really, people. And
Right.
then the 99-cent.
It was a
Goodwill
mixture of
tie,
everything,
yeah, it
right?
was
super
every
fun. It
type
was
of
a
tie.
great party. It was super fun.
What the peanuts?
Yeah, we had them on the table, like
Oh,
you
yeah.
could, just like because it was a little checker tape. It was like a redneck
Yeah, it
party,
was
so we had to
redneck,
make
you
it
had
like
to
a
have
really
peanuts
redneck.
there that people walk on or
Yeah.
shell themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
But just those little small details is, I think that's really what is the determining factor, because you've probably had copycats come out there and want to try and do. See,
Oh, yeah. See, Mary
Rene,
Rene.
she's laughing. They want to do the same thing, but the upper hand that you have is that you both have gone through crazy divorces. I mean, I didn't know yours, but I certainly heard about
Yeah.
details about that one. And I'm like, geez, that's what's going on. But you had these crazy divorces happen, and then you come at it at the parties and the event planning with that knowledge, besides the fact that you've done event planning before, but you've experienced it, so you know kind of how to relate to somebody, male or female, of maybe what you would want to do and having your own party. This is what I would want to do. You might want to do the same thing, and those detail-oriented things is really what makes it stand out.
Yeah, we have people that reach out to us on Facebook, like, I'm going to need a party. We were sitting at Super Bowl. We got invited by these crazy guys to go to a Super Bowl party at Caesars, and the guy's texting me, I'm going to need a divorce party. I'm like, crap. Hold on right now. Let me get the details.
Right.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, it's not like we're encouraging divorce. It's
Right.
going to happen.
Right,
But we just want to let people know that it's not the end of the life.
right.
There's always something better going on.
I used to have to tell her all the time, like, get your push-up bra on and get out of the house. You're never
Right.
going to meet anybody on VIP club couch. Get out of the house. And so, and then that's when I asked her, I said, why don't you come be a part of this and help me do some of these parties and just do these mixers, and, it'll get you back out and about. And
Mhm.
so that's why she joined, and yeah, so.
and it's working out.
Yeah, and then that kind of goes into some of the other things that you're doing with single parties and creating mixers for that. Not only just for people that have been divorced, but someone that's never been married but just wants to meet people. I mean, that's especially in this town. I think it's really difficult
It is.
to meet
It is.
some cool people, and you tend to just stay in your little circle and not venture out and you know, take somebody like Glenda to get off the couch and let's
well,
go
it's
do
easier just to
stuff.
like their status on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, that's
or,
great.
you
Yeah.
know, or you get people that send you stuff and you're like, is this person really real?
Right.
Like,
Wish I was there.
well, and a lot of friends that we have a lot of business people and business owners and attorney friends, and they don't want to go to the nightclubs that, you know, get out of the house at 10:30 at night. They have
Right.
kids.
Right.
So we need to do something. They're like, I'll go if it's at 7 o'clock where I can be home by 11. I'm like,
Sure.
oh, good Lord. Okay, so that's why we kind of started doing the business, you know, for the business people.
You almost have to out here.
Yeah.
And we're
Because
not
everybody
opposed
does
to
nightclubs.
We're
Right.
not opposed to them, but it's like, we know for us, when somebody's like, oh, do you want to meet up? I'm like, yeah, it'll be fun. When does it start? 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we look at each other like,
You're like,
You're
I
like,
guess I'm not
wait,
going.
no, it means I got to leave the house by 7 and stay out till 4 in the morning. Because
Yeah.
if I go home and then you're at home like 8 or 9 o'clock, you're like,
I'll have friends come into town that'll say, you know, let's meet up. I said, where do you want to go? Like, oh, we're going to be at Tao on, you know, Saturday. I'm like, how about dinner? I mean,
Yeah.
I've done the Tao thing so many times, or whatever, just the nightclubs in general, just to meet up for something else. I mean,
I was going to say, the best place to have a first date would be like Hakkasan, because then if you didn't like the guy, you could go, I'm going to go to the bathroom, be right back. You will never find that person again.
it's so hard to get
And then
around.
you could say, I'm sorry, I couldn't find you.
I tried to get back.
I tried.
I forgot to leave the Reese's Pieces as I left you.
Oh.
Yeah, the having like the going to like a wine bar or something like that. I
Yeah.
think that's where you're going at and saying, you know, those were, and they're just chill. It's not loud. You can hear the conversation with people. So
Yes,
that's
it's different.
And do you find and I've seen other singles events out there. So how will you change the game in that respect?
a lot of our parties are themed parties.
Okay.
Like last year, we did one 50 Shades of Single.
Okay.
So it was borderline, really
We had
reds,
Sexy
blacks,
Mojo with all the
Sexy
sex
Mojo
toys.
sent us
and
sex toys. I found a book that somebody won. I had to buy it. It was called 50 Shades of Chicken. And the funny part
And the
is,
guy that won, Randy McGuire, he literally had a chicken in his house, a real live one.
No.
somebody brought a
Somebody
chicken
brought-
over, and
Funny.
it was
And
running
he won
around
the
his house.
cookbook. Oh
And he
my
won
God.
the cookbook.
It was hysterical.
It was perfect. So we try to come up with themes to make it exciting. You want to experience something, but
We had
also
Rain
did
Cosmetics,
Rain
the New
Cosmetics
Beautiful
did
You.
one, a New Beautiful You. We did that down at the beauty bar downtown.
Sure.
Try to keep the themes together.
Yeah, it makes sense.
She sent makeup artists to help with, do
Yeah.
some
That is
makeup, show
cool.
the girls' makeup and stuff. They were great.
What else did we do? The
Just
Christmas
Claus You're
one.
Single.
Yeah, Just Claus You're Single.
Okay.
So we try to do themes to make it fun, but it's like, it's more of a get together. Just
Sure.
come hang out, meet new people, business network, and
And we have people that donate stuff that would, to giveaways, and it's kind of fun.
Are there like
But-
gift bags and things like
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But we want to work on some, like I said earlier, we were doing them one in Green Valley, like we were kind of mixing up the locations. And
Right.
it's becoming difficult for the Southwest people, so we're trying to find something central, which we have our eye on a couple
working
things
on
that'll
a couple
be more
places.
central located for people. And then one will be like a nightclubby kind, do 2 a month, one at the one.
Well,
Business professional.
I don't know what it is, but I mean, a central location for me would be like a town square or something, because it just has so many things there. But
Right.
whatever you guys are going to come up with, I'm sure it will be awesome. But
It's going to
You
be
know,
awesome.
yes, and it allows that person, then these singles to get together, and maybe they'll get married.
And we can do their bachelor party and their
And you can do
bachelorette
all-
parties because
everything.
Black Book 702 does those too.
Does everything.
We do it all.
I want to kind of touch on a little bit of your interior design stuff,
Okay.
because I see all the pictures that you post, and I mean, I've shared them, and you just do an amazing job. So I'm assuming some of that comes into play with the events too, because do you decorate the rooms according to the different themes and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
We'd go out and shop. Like we had one themed party that was actually, they wanted to do a rock and roll kind of rock and roll themed one. So
Okay.
that one was super fun. So I went and bought the wigs and the things for the models to wear, and we did the DJ, and then we had the PlayStation Rock Band. That's what it was, Rock Band. And the guy with the highest score won, and then
Okay.
we shipped his PlayStation to him because he won.
Okay.
So yeah, I think the design, I can do a lot of, I have a design eye, so yeah, with the,
Colors and the way things are laid out in the room and all that.
you cannot teach creativity.
That's true. You cannot teach
have to
that
be
sort of thing. You have to already be creative. You can teach the technical stuff, but the creative side, it already has to almost be in there. Do you see, I mean, this is obviously here now. Is it something that you see as just going to stay in Vegas, or you might franchise the idea out? Or?
Oh my goodness, we have been getting so much global media. I just did the Sunday Times of London interview, and
That's
then
cool.
when that went out, then I got a call, and I was in Hawaii from the BBC radio from London. They were not so nice to me.
They weren't, huh?
They were like, "Oh, it's therapeutic for a woman to be shooting up her dress," and I was like, "Yeah, therapists say it is."
Yeah, because it's that release of like kind of like letting go. I mean, for that woman in particular, she might not. Even though, you know, you think of memories and all that, you don't want that hanging in your closet. It's kind of just like I'm done, wipe your hands clean of the sort of thing. And, but for the guy, too, he's shoot up his suit, you know, because he has an attachment for that article of clothing to that event. And seeing it just brings the memories, and that kind of just ends it.
Well, they can donate them, too. I mean, you can donate their dresses. There's all different things that we can do. It just depends on what the client wants to do and how far they want to go. And I have this great idea for a redneck one. I'm gonna save it.
Okay.
Don't
tell them. Everyone's gonna steal that.
Yes. We did one small party, a redneck party, where we went and bought the white styrofoam coolers and decorate the yard for the tables.
Those were like the end tables. The styrofoam coolers were the end tables.
The webbing chairs. We did like a redneck photo booth for their friends to come take pictures. We hung up a shower curtain and with blue tape across, so it was like a lineup.
And of course, we didn't have it measured right, so 6 foot was really like 4 feet. No,
scratched in there,
Yeah, but it was, and we had some.
We did a bra. Flower pot out of a bra.
Yeah.
We had like the little pots in the bra.
That's
on a hanger. It was so cute.
And I would assume that, I mean, everything that you're telling me, it sounds really like it goes with a theme, and everyone would enjoy it. Do people kind of like, oh, you know, but
no, they love it.
They're all for it.
Oh yeah.
And that was one of the cheapest ones, or the least expensive.
Right, that's the better way to say it.
But I was going to say too, on the national marketing or whatever, we did a lot of calls. We've got Germany that's called us. We did a thing for Austria. And we're going to be featured in Bella magazine in the UK as a celebrity magazine. We just did an interview with them. We've been on, oh gosh, I can't even think of them all. And we get applied by several producers as well.
Right. I would assume that most people are really open to the concept. When you were first talking about it, when I was hearing about it like on Facebook and stuff, I'm like, what a novel idea. I mean, I hadn't even considered that, and I'm sure some people are on that boat. But once they hear it, they're like, you know, that's not a bad idea.
Well, because they usually go to the club and throw down a couple bottles or whatever, and and they have the little divorce stash, but that's about the extent to some of them.
Right.
And one of the clients had said the reason why they chose my company is because it was tailored to her, not just thrown into a club with thousands of people where here's your table and there you go and off you go. It was all built around her, her friends, her family.
And that's probably the difference of, you know, the copycats, if you will, out there. It's more of like, okay, so I'm a host, independent or whatever, and I can get you into this club and get you this table, and here are your bottles, and then here's a sash, and, you know, maybe you have some cupcakes or something brought out.
Oh my gosh, when I was trying to do her party, because she was a businesswoman, and then I was like trying to find divorce decorations, and all she could find was a penis pinata, penis suckers. I'm thinking that's the last thing she wants to see is a penis, right? So I'm thinking I need to come up with something, and that's when I came up with the Kiss the Wrong Frog clothing line. Because when I was having to sell my stuff to pay my attorneys, I was selling my clothes, I was selling everything, trying to like make money so I could survive.
Sure.
And that's when I had run an ad, and it said, "Unload the toad, divorce sale, everything must go." And then it was like, and then I put on there, "I kissed the wrong frog." And then I was like, I need to make that.
That's a shirt.
Yeah, so we did shirts and shot glasses and condoms and all
Is this the one?
That's one of the shirts.
Oh, do you want to see it?
Oh, we'd love to. You brought it for a reason,
well,
right?
How do you see it?
Right there.
Oh. Well, does it look good? We need to get Jeremy one. That's just the tank top, but we have so many cute.
Yeah, we have hats, pajama sets, a whole bunch of different novelty items with that
cute,
line.
Right? And here's some of we have divorce party condoms, and we have all kinds of fun little stuff.
Shot glasses.
Yeah, a whole bunch more stuff on the wall.
These are obviously personally made for your company.
Yeah.
These are kind of cool.
Yeah, I have the Kiss the Wrong Frog ones, too.
You see this, George?
Now, they come in different sizes?
You know, it's kind of like Cinderella. If it fits, you're in.
Oh, there you go.
That's my take on it.
That's
make sure
funny.
they're all jumbo size. No, I'm just kidding. I heard size didn't
They're
matter.
all blue.
No, there's
No?
yellow, blue, red. They're
Okay,
all
they are all different colors.
Yes.
Are there any other swag type stuff that you?
Oh, we have a whole bunch. I just didn't bring it all, but yeah, we have a bunch of stuff.
And we always put together a gift basket for the people for their parties.
Mm-hmm.
And we always follow up. A lot of them, after we have their parties, they end up becoming a
Part of
divorce
our
party
group.
Right.
Yeah, we have our own groupies that show
Do
up at
you?
events. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of fun. You kind of create a relationship, like,
Sure.
and we get hit up all the time. Oh, let's talk about the vamps. Okay, so we go to this club, right? This is funny.
The BAM
Vamps,
Club
right?
Love
on
that
West Sahara. Yeah,
place.
yeah.
We love that place. But anyway, so we go there, and this guy, he sat down and started buying us some drinks. And he said, and we said, what do you do? And we said, we do divorce parties. And he starts saying, oh, I'm going through a divorce. And we're like, okay. And then he's like, well, can you give me some advice? I said, $10. And he goes, what? I said, $10. And he goes,
Right.
I don't have $10. She whips out the square for our mobile phone and puts it on.
That's
we're
funny.
like, $10. And so he takes his credit card and he literally swipes it, and the receipt comes from Kiss the Wrong Frog. But he wanted advice, and I
Sure.
said, I'm going to give you the best advice you're ever going to have for $10, honestly. And
Yeah.
then so he was asking me, he was telling me he's been married for 28 years, they have kids. And so I started asking him, I said, so you have children. Has your wife ever worked? No. So she's been a stay-at-home mom all this time. And I forget the amount he was, the lawyers were, or she wanted like $1,200 or something a month or something like that. And I said, is it a number that you could live with? You know, or he goes, we have mediation, and she just doesn't deserve it. And I said, if she's been a stay-at-home mom, and I said, you are clearly going to lose. I said, if you don't mediate this in your next mediation, I said, the lawyers are going to get all your money.
That's right.
Neither one of you will walk away. And he was like, that's the best $10 I ever had. I said, I'm not a lawyer.
But you were basically saying to the guy, listen, I
Settle
understand where you're coming from, where you're like, she doesn't deserve the $1,200, but you're like, can you live with it? And if you can, it's probably the best $1,200 that you've ever spent.
Well, especially because she hasn't worked and she's raised his kids, so
Right.
I mean, he would not win.
Right, because and then he would spend more money by going into
Fighting it.
fighting and going to court and all that and paying the
Yes.
lawyers and all that.
Yeah. But our rate has changed.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, I
not, it's not $10 anymore.
No,
Right.
it's not
we had another
$10.
guy at Super Bowl Sunday at the VIP thing at Caesars, and when they find out what we do, then they start saying, oh, and we're like $10, and he had $8 cash. I stuck it down my shelf. I'll take the $8.
Yeah.
And then he ended up sitting there talking. I didn't even know who won the Super Bowl. He's like yacked my head like all day long.
You didn't
I
even get to watch.
I didn't miss anything. I didn't even find out who won till like late
Well,
that night.
like they say, there was a football game at the Bruno Mars concert.
Yeah,
That's true.
it was a bad Super Bowl, so I guess I didn't miss anything.
Depends on how you look at it, if it's bad or not. But you know, you have those, like you said, you have these groupies come and they're at
Yeah.
these events and they find out what you do and they're like, oh, because everyone, not everybody, but a lot of people can relate, and then you kind of draw them in that way. You know, we do these parties and $10 for the advice, and do these people become clients then too?
Yeah, some of them have become.
Yeah.
Actually, I told you, like on Facebook, they hit us up way before they're even finalized.
Right.
Like, I might need a party, and then we just, you know, they're like, I can't make it, and and then we kind of like counseling, not counseling, but how would you say, consoling?
Life advice.
Sure,
Yeah, like
sure.
this is, you
Yeah.
know, if we can make it through, if I can make it through, anybody can make it through.
Well, you're also coming from a different point of view. I mean,
Yeah.
Their friends and their family see it a different way than you do. You're an outside interest. It's not necessarily, oh, we're doing this so I can get a party out of you, but you're like, listen, girl, I've gone through what you've gone through, and here's my situation. Is it as bad as yours? Well, no. Or so now imagine what I went through, and let's kind of help you get through this. You know, you just met them, but they need to hear it from a different perspective, and
Right.
somebody that's not directly connected to that situation.
And they also ask us, you know, we've also become an affiliate program we have now, because
Oh, really? Okay.
if you have to flip your house, but you need the cash, we know someone can do it. You need
Okay.
to refinance your home. I mean, they'll ask you, or they even ask, who's a good lawyer? And I'm like, okay, here's who I use. And they're like, we should have like a 3-tier lawyer
Sure,
system.
Yeah.
different prices
Yeah.
and things like that. That's
Yeah, we've been compiling the D list.
well, and it's cool.
So the divorce
Yeah.
list of things you might need, you know.
To give an example, like Dave Ramsey has a list on his site that, you know, approved vendors, if you will.
Right.
These are the ones that if we're sending you to them, they're going to handle everything that you need. So anything that
Yeah.
the lawyers or the property, life coaches down the line,
Yeah.
perfect, because that's really what people need. They need a party, of course, but you know, it's the little bit before and the little bit after of how to actually deal with the whole thing.
Yeah, because there's so much stuff. Like, I had to even get my own health insurance. I'm like, why the hell do I get health insurance? Like,
Never done that before. I didn't know. So,
I know.
Yeah.
Stuff that you don't realize when you're now out in the single world that, you know, you just don't think about. And it blindsides you like, oh my goodness. Like I had to sell my son's house for living expenses. I had
Sure.
to flip a house, had to get cash in like 10 days.
Wow.
It was terrible.
And you know, a lot of people are going through those things. So you're actually creating a bigger niche that maybe you didn't even realize was going to be happening with all these other things, you know, going on. Because, you know, I can see it just by dealing, you know, I met Mary Rene, I apologize, sorry. You're the only one I know with that name, by the way. So you are unique in that respect.
Thank you.
You messed up again.
I did,
know.
and I am
First time you-
apologizing.
But I was still smiling.
You were. You did a little bit of a head nod, though. You're like,
She's like,
I'm like, okay, can we like get it right?
Mary Rene. So first time meeting you, but I can tell just that you genuinely care. You know what these people are going through, male, female. You know, because sometimes you might look at it from, oh, you know, it's a girl power thing, and you're only there to be that side of it. But it's you do both. You know.
You know, we're gonna be honest. It sucks.
Sure.
There's no way to put it any other way. But what you take from it and grow from it is what makes the difference.
Right.
You know, there's moments like I'm like the other day I'm like, damn, I had a dream with my ex in it.
we're like,
you know,
Yeah,
and
how
I'm
do you
like,
handle that?
Google
Yeah.
it. What
Look
does
it
that
up,
mean?
look
It's
it
got
up.
to
What
mean
does it
something
mean,
not
you know?
good.
Right.
But it's still, you know, there's moments. And now my divorce was final in 2012,
Mhm.
and we're 2014. So now I'm like, I can laugh, I'm happy. But there was a good 8 months that I was depressed.
Right.
I dyed my hair black, never had
Yeah.
dark hair in my life.
Right.
It's a grieving process.
Yeah, and it was like I didn't know who I was because for 15 years, I was his other half.
You're Mrs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, it's like
You got to find your own identity.
I
Right.
knew I was a strong person, but still on the same hand. It's like Glynda always says, baby steps till
Sure.
you can get going, and you know you have to build your own confidence again because it's life shattering.
And I think that for anybody that's been in anything like that for an extended period of time, you know, 10, 15 years, and then, you know, suddenly you're thrust into something completely new, it takes time to acclimate back into it, and you just need to be prepared for that, and having people around you that can assist with that is helpful. Again, like I was mentioning before, it's that, you know, coming from a different perspective, and the people that are actually in it might see it differently than you guys do. So I think that's a benefit you're doing for, you know, society, if you will, because people need that. And
Yeah, you need to have that closure.
you need to party, obviously,
Yeah.
but you need that the closure, like you're saying, and the reacclimation into the world. And like you said, you having the singles parties, and it's not just like, what else can we do to, you know, do events wise? And you're looking at it from a different perspective of how can we help now that they're divorced, now that they had this party. You know, how can we get them off the couch? You know, and you know,
Reinvent themselves.
reinvent yourself, do your
Exactly.
hair, and put on the nice clothes and go out and
Push up bra.
and
They always help, right?
I hear they help. Yeah.
But, you know, I think a lot of people probably think of it as like it being a party, like the woman's way of getting revenge. But really, I don't believe that's what it is. It's just there is a part, that male or female, that you go through. It's a grieving process, like you said, you know, and it just helps you get along, I think, a little bit quicker.
And even
Yeah.
with George, I mean, if you don't mind me sharing a little bit.
No, it's fine.
But, you know, even his situation, it's the reverse of what we typically hear. He had his wife leave him, go out to L.A., and he's raising his 2 sons, you know, that he had with her. And that's not typically what you hear, but now he's having to do that and be here at the station, you know, 10 hours a day and still keep that strong, you know, person about him, but still has to battle with that. And that's been going on for 2 years for him.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Takes a
too, with
while.
Kids. How old are your kids?
They are now 9 and 10.
So you used to have to worry about who's going to watch them when you're not
Yeah.
home, and the daycares, and
All the fun stuff, yeah.
He's a little bit advantaged because his mom lives in town here.
Right, she does help out.
She
Right.
can help, but still, it's that, you know, I benefit or, you know, lucky or not, I've never been married, so I don't know what. I think everybody that's in this room has been married maybe once or twice, and I'm the only one that hasn't. So I can't really empathize, but definitely sympathize with what you guys are going through. And I think it's fantastic to help them through the whole process, you know,
Well, that's another thing too. You don't want to bring someone that you just meet home to meet your children either.
No,
I mean,
right.
No.
I've only had 1 or 2 people that's even met my son. And my son's almost 18. It's like
Right.
I just still
Right.
won't even, you know.
I haven't really even dated since then. I've just
No,
kind of left
me
it
either.
because you get to these kind of points in your life. You're just like, is it worth it anymore?
That's what I say.
I've got
Are they
s-
worth texting the next day?
Yeah,
Like, do I
right.
want to? Like, do I want to waste their time or my time?
Exactly
Seriously?
right,
Like,
yeah.
you really think about it. Like,
Mhm.
That's why we go out with the girls all the time. We know that's a good time.
See, there you go, guarantee.
And it's
Yeah.
not so much anymore with the way society looks at
frightening.
things. It's not that it's a necessity to be married. I mean, I think it's the whole idea of it's really nice, but the way that we function now as a society, it's not as important as it may have been 30, 40 years ago. Like you said, single parties. That's embrace being single, embrace going out and experiencing new things with new people, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. Well, I hung out with this person one time, and now we're a couple, and now we're going to go down that. You're like,
Well,
no,
we've had girlfriends that do that.
Well,
that
no,
they
and
have
guys do
to
the
have
same
that
thing.
next.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta hang. Like, why don't you just do it yourself? Like, learn how to be on your own.
Right.
And if the right person comes along, then it'll be like, oh,
Bonus, but
Unfortunately, society will look at it sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be the cat lady, or you're a spinster, and that's all you're going to be if you don't get into a relationship immediately.
oh yeah, we're in the no cuddle zone. We are like far from like no next. We're like next.
Right.
No.
And that's how it should be. Is that you're putting these events together, helping them through that divorce, and then going into the single life, and other things too. It's not just relationship based. It's if you're in a business and you have that
It's good
arm of it.
networking.
Yes.
It's good networking, and you're single, and there's other single people, and they're business professional people, and they just want to meet and maybe have, a conversation with an adult.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
like you said too, what do you do on those nights that you have those ex dreams? They're nightmares pretty much when they come out.
Right?
And you have nobody to talk to. So if something like this, you can go up and say, hey, look, this is what happened to me. Oh, yeah, the creepy thing happened to me too, like 2 nights ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't relate to that.
I'm telling you, I still have them. And
Right.
it's like, because I have to talk to her once in a while. When I do, the memories come back. And so at nighttime, it plays out in my dreams. And I wake up the next day, I'm going, wow, this is just too much.
wakes up in
It's
a
on your
cold sweat.
subconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I found
Sweat
this
it out.
really
Get
good-
it out.
Yeah, there's a really good quote we just posted on our Facebook page and everything. It says, X means thanks for the experience. Our time has expired. Now exit my life.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's for
But it's still so hard to do.
It
I
is.
mean, when you've been with somebody for so
Oh,
long,
yeah.
I was, everybody knew me as Mrs. Rhodes, and
It's
people
true.
still call me that. I'm like, it's me, G.
Yeah.
I said, I'm trying to find a new last name as long as I don't have to get married for one. But
right.
but you are that person, like Mary Renee
Right.
said earlier. You're with that person. That's your life. That's who you are, and you create this. And now you're single, and you're like, well, who am I? You lose your identity and your self-confidence and insecure, and you have to like relearn how to live all that back.
And even with Glenda's situation, because at least here in Vegas, if you live here, you've known the name Rhodes, and just you were both together and at events all the time, so it was even more magnified that you were those two people. So to even separate yourself from that, I would imagine. Kudos to you. Jeez. I mean,
I'm trying.
You're doing a good job. I mean, and creating your own identity. And maybe that was the
trying.
biggest thing about creating Black Book. That was the issue, is that means you have your own identity. And no, it has nothing to do with homes. Well, but this is who I am. This is what I like doing. So, and parlaying and doing this and,
Yeah.
working with Mary Renee and having some
And
really
helping
cool,
other
helping other
single
people
people.
go
You
through
got
this.
your name
really-
right that time.
I did.
Woo, 5 stars. I
Yay.
slapped my head.
Well, if you want to learn more about the Divorce Party Planner, Glenda in general, you can go to thejeremywomackshow.com. I put a nice little profile up there for Glenda, and there's a link there. You can check it out. You can see pictures as well if you want to see what it looks like to, burn a dress and have a bunch of your friends just standing around watching it happen. There's a picture of it there, and there's a cake too that's on there. Is there
That's
anything?
just one of them.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty intricate.
Well, that was her husband because he has concrete blocks because they had a concrete company.
Okay.
So and he.
And that's him going into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he always had a boat that he would take the bizzo out on. So we sunk the boat and sunk him at the bottom of the lake.
So then that's perfect. The cake means something
Yes.
Yes.
specific
Yeah,
to that
it
situation.
had meaning.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
And
quite fun.
You could see a picture of that cake there too. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Well, thanks for having us.
It
fun.
wasn't as hard as you thought it was going to be.
No, but
right?
we've been approached so many times to do our own little radio show. We've been seriously considering it. Have
Well, if you
callers
want to do
call
that,
in.
this is the guy you need
Yeah,
to talk
that's what
to.
he said.
I
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
to him
yeah.
earlier. I said, if you want that, we can get this.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Because I think it would be definitely something on that weekly basis where even you can bring in testimonials of different things that
Exactly.
happen.
Or bringing the attorneys or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
self-help people.
Even
Yeah.
have somebody call in on Skype once in a while and tell their problems and what they're up to, and
Right?
Maybe some
$10.
advice.
yeah,
Exactly.
$10.
$8 and in the brawl and out the door.
Exactly.
No, but thank you so much for having
No,
us.
of course. Again, as I've mentioned on the show before, I really enjoy, helping out my friends. I've never taken you up on your golf invitation, but because I don't play. But
Well, we don't have that golf course no more, so
no more
you're
golf
too
course.
late.
I should have taken you up on it at that time,
Yep.
but I've never had any qualms with Glenn, and you've always been jovial and a cool person to hang out with. So I want nothing but the best for the both of you to have this amazing party. And then that's why this whole hour show is, because we can dive more into it's a divorce party. Yeah, but it's more than just that. It's helping out with other things too. So again, I thank you for coming in, and maybe I'll get to see you guys more if you have a
Yeah,
show
we'd
here.
love
So
to.
that'd be really cool. You guys go to thejeremywomackshow.com. Again, there's information there. If you missed any part of this show, it'll be archived. You can go to the All Talk Radio YouTube channel or my YouTube channel and see the video as well. And I'll also put another post up. So thanks, guys, for coming in, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.